Hey there, how's it going? Thanks for joining me today. Whether you're relaxing at home, on your commute, or winding down for the evening, I'm really glad you're here. Picture this: October 19th, 2017, 3:45 a.m. Hawaii time. Dr. Robert Werrick sits hunched over his computer screen at the Haleakala Observatory, his eyes burning from staring at star charts for the past 8 hours. The coffee maker gurgles behind him, his fifth cup of the night brewing. He's part of the Panoramic Survey Telescope and Rapid Response System, or PANSTARS, scanning the heavens for near-Earth asteroids. Just another night of celestial guard duty, watching for cosmic rocks that might threaten our little blue marble. But when Werrick rubs his tired eyes and looks back at his monitor, everything changes. There, moving across his screen like a ghost through starlight, is something that shouldn't exist. Before we continue this journey, tell us where you're tuning in from, and if this story resonates with you, make sure you're subscribed, because tomorrow I've saved something extraordinary for you. The object on Werrick's screen defies everything astronomers thought they knew about our solar system. It's moving at 87,000 miles per hour, fast enough to circle Earth in just 17 minutes. But here's what makes it impossible. It's coming from the wrong direction entirely. Every asteroid, every comet, every piece of space debris follows the same basic rules. They orbit our sun in roughly the same plane, like cars on a cosmic highway. This thing? It's barreling through space at a steep angle, cutting across that highway like it owns the place. Within hours, telescopes around the world swing toward this mysterious visitor. What they find makes the impossible even stranger. The object is shaped like a giant cigar, about 1,300 feet long and only 400 feet wide, roughly 10 times longer than it is wide. Nothing in our solar system looks like this. It tumbles end over end through the void like a cosmic bottle tossed by invisible giants. They name it Oumuamua, a Hawaiian word meaning first distant messenger. It's the first confirmed interstellar visitor ever detected, passing through our solar system. A traveler from another star, journeying for millions of years through the frozen darkness between worlds, and somehow finding its way to us. But here's what they didn't tell you that night. Here's what the news reports never mentioned, what the scientific papers buried in footnotes, what the government agencies classified and locked away. 3 hours before Werrick's discovery, every major sleep laboratory from Tokyo to Stockholm recorded the same bizarre phenomenon. At exactly 12:45 a.m. Hawaii time, 3 hours before the astronomical discovery, millions of people around the world simultaneously entered REM sleep, regardless of their local time zones. Night shift workers in London, afternoon commuters in Sydney, evening diners in New York, ID5. All of them, suddenly, inexplicably, fell into the deepest stage of dream sleep at the exact same moment. Dr. Sarah Chen at Stanford Sleep Laboratory was working late that night, monitoring 24 test subjects as part of a study on circadian rhythms. Her patients were supposed to enter REM sleep gradually, naturally, spread across different hours based on when they'd fallen asleep. Instead, at exactly 12:45 a.m. Hawaii time, every single person's brainwaves shifted simultaneously into the telltale theta patterns of deep dreaming. Chen stared at her monitors in disbelief. In 20 years of sleep research, she'd never seen anything like it. Brainwaves don't synchronize across different people unless they're identical twins, and they certainly don't synchronize across different time zones with people who went to sleep hours apart. She grabbed her phone and started calling colleagues. Dr. Yuki Tanaka in Tokyo, same phenomenon. Dr. Elena Vasquez in Barcelona, identical results. Dr. James Morrison at MIT, Dr. A2. His overnight study subjects had all entered synchronized REM sleep at the exact same universal time. Think about that for a second. While Robert Werik discovered humanity's first confirmed interstellar visitor, millions of human brains around the planet had already detected its presence. Not through telescopes or radio waves or any technology we understand, through dreams. But Oumuamua was just the beginning. 2 years later, on August 30th, 2019, amateur astronomer Gennady Borisov spots another interstellar visitor through his homemade telescope in Crimea. This one gets the official designation 2I divided by Borisov, the second confirmed interstellar object. Unlike Oumuamua's strange cigar shape, Borisov looks like a normal comet, complete with a glowing tail of vaporized ice and dust. The scientific community celebrates. 2 interstellar visitors in 2 years suggest these cosmic wanderers might be more common than anyone imagined. Telescopes worldwide track Borisov's journey through our solar system, studying its composition, its trajectory, its mysterious origins in the space between stars. But hidden in classified military files, this object carries a different designation entirely. 3I divided by Atlas, the third interstellar visitor, not the second, because in the 2 years since Oumuamua, something else had passed through our solar system, something the public was never told about. On the night 3I divided by Atlas, I divided by Borisov, the object publicly called 2I divided by Borisov, I divided by Borisov, something extraordinary happened, something that made the synchronized REM sleep during Oumuamua's discovery look like a minor coincidence. 23 million people reported the exact same dream. Not similar dreams. Not dreams with comparable themes. The exact same dream, described in identical detail by dreamers who had never met, spoke different languages, lived on different continents. A vast library floating in the darkness of space, endless shelves stretching in all directions, filled with books written in languages that felt familiar but looked completely alien, symbols that seemed to shift and dance on the pages, rearranging themselves into new meanings even as the dreamers watched. In the dream, each person found themselves walking through this impossible library, drawn toward a central reading room where a figure waited. The figure's face was never clear. Some described it as human, others as something beyond human understanding, but the voice was always the same across all 23 million dreamers. It spoke in a language that bypassed the ears entirely, communicating directly with the mind. The first lesson has been received. You are ready for the second. The awakening begins now. When the dreamers reached for the books, words flowed into their minds. Not through reading, but through direct transmission. Mathematical formulas they'd never learned. Scientific concepts beyond their education. Artistic visions of breathtaking beauty. And all of it accompanied by the overwhelming sense that this knowledge came from somewhere impossibly far away, transmitted across the vast emptiness between stars. Dr. Sarah Chen, who had documented the synchronized REM sleep during Oumuamua's passage, found herself at the center of the most important discovery in human history. Her Stanford sleep laboratory became ground zero for understanding what the media started calling the cosmic dream event. But Chen had already made the connection that would change everything. During 3I divided by Atlas's closest approach, she had aimed experimental quantum field detectors at the object, detectors originally designed to study particle physics, not astronomy. The readings she recorded that night matched human theta brainwaves with 99.7% accuracy. The electromagnetic signature, radiating from 3I divided by Atlas, operated at exactly 4 to 7 Hz, REM, the same frequency range human brains produce during deep meditation, creative inspiration, and most importantly, REM dream sleep. Let that sink in. An object from another star system was broadcasting on the exact frequency of human consciousness. Suddenly, those ancient stories about star teachers visiting Earth in dreams didn't sound so mythical anymore. cave paintings showing figures descending from the sky to share knowledge, Aboriginal Dreamtime stories of sky beings bringing wisdom through visions, Native American legends of star people teaching sacred ceremonies through dreams, Hindu texts describing celestial visitors who communicated through meditation and trance states. Every culture on Earth preserved stories of cosmic teachers who shared knowledge through altered states of consciousness. Stories passed down for thousands of years, dismissed by modern science as primitive mythology, until October 19th, 2017, when the first distant messenger arrived and millions of human minds responded before any telescope detected its presence. Until August 30th, 2019, when 23 million people shared the same impossible dream of a cosmic library broadcasting knowledge across the void. The universe, it turned out, had been trying to get our attention for a very long time. We'd just forgotten how to listen. Our ancestors knew the secret, that consciousness itself could reach across the vast emptiness between stars, that human minds could serve as receivers for cosmic transmissions, that dreams were not just random neural activity, but actual communication channels with something vast and intelligent. But in our rush to understand the universe through telescopes and equations, we'd lost touch with our most sophisticated instrument of cosmic detection, the sleeping human brain. Oumuamua and 3i divided by Atlas were not random visitors. They were invitations, signals in a language older than civilization, transmitted on frequencies evolution had specifically tuned our brains to receive. The first distant messengers in what would prove to be an ongoing conversation between Earth and the cosmos. And this was only the beginning, because hidden in the quantum depths of every sleeping mind, something extraordinary was about to awaken, something that would prove human consciousness wasn't confined to the skull, wasn't limited to the brain, wasn't even restricted to Earth itself. Your dreams, it turns out, have been traveling through space all along. The universe has been waiting patiently for you to remember how to use them. Tomorrow, we'll dive deep into the quantum machinery hidden inside your head, the biological antenna that evolution spent millions of years perfecting. We'll explore how your sleeping brain becomes a cosmic receiver, how consciousness itself might be the universe's preferred method of long-distance communication. But tonight, as you drift off to sleep, remember this. You're not just closing your eyes and shutting down for the night. You're activating the most sophisticated quantum communication device in the known universe. You're joining a conversation that spans galaxies. Sweet dreams, cosmic dreamer. The universe is calling. Welcome back, cosmic explorers. Yesterday we discovered that the universe had been knocking on humanity's door through interstellar visitors and synchronized dreams. Today, we're diving deep into the most sophisticated piece of technology you'll ever encounter, and it's sitting right between your ears. Inside your skull, 100 billion neurons fire in patterns more complex than all the stars in our galaxy. Think about that number for a moment. 100 billion. If you counted one neuron per second, it would take you over 3,000 years to count them all. Each of these neurons connects to thousands of others, creating a network with more possible connections than there are atoms in the ND, observable universe. But here's what makes it even more incredible. During sleep, this vast neural network doesn't just shut down for maintenance. It transforms into something extraordinary, something that makes every radio telescope on Earth look like a child's walkie-talkie. Let me walk you through what happens inside your head every single night. When you're awake and alert, your brain buzzes with beta waves, electrical oscillations firing at 30 Hz, 30 times per second. These fast, sharp pulses handle your conscious thoughts, your immediate reactions, your focus on the here and now. Beta waves are the brain's workday frequency, handling emails and conversations, and all the mundane details of daily life. As you begin to relax, something shifts. Beta waves fade like a radio station losing signal. Alpha waves take over at 12 Hz, slower, gentler rhythms associated with calm awareness and light meditation. This is your brain's transition frequency, the bridge between waking consciousness and the deeper states that await. But then comes the magic moment. As you slip into deeper sleep, your brain shifts to theta waves are now oscillating at 4 to 7 Hz. This is the frequency of deep meditation, creative inspiration, and profound healing. Buddhist monks spend decades learning to access theta states at will. Your brain does it automatically every night. And here's where our story takes a wild turn. The same week 3 I divided by Atlas appeared in our skies, Dr. Yuki Tanaka at the Tokyo Institute of Technology made a discovery that shattered everything neuroscientists thought they knew about human consciousness. Using quantum field detectors originally designed for particle physics experiments, she recorded something impossible. Human brains don't just receive these theta frequencies, they broadcast them. Picture Dr. Tanaka in her laboratory, surrounded by equipment worth millions of dollars, all focused on a single sleeping volunteer. As her test subject entered REM sleep and theta waves began flowing, the quantum detectors lit up like Christmas trees. The sleeping brain was generating coherent electromagnetic fields that rippled outward at the speed of light. But here's the part that made Tanaka's hands shake as she checked and rechecked her readings. These weren't random electromagnetic emissions. They followed precise patterns, mathematical sequences, geometric harmonies. The sleeping human brain was broadcasting structured information into space. When Tanaka published her preliminary findings, the scientific community reacted with predictable skepticism. Consciousness researchers had long debated whether the brain generates electromagnetic fields strong enough to influence anything beyond the skull. The idea that thoughts could propagate through space seemed like science fiction, until other laboratories started replicating Tanaka's experiments. Dr. Pavel Kozlov at Moscow University detected thought wave propagation up to 15 miles from sleeping subjects. Dr. Maria Santos in Sao Paulo recorded coherent brain emissions traveling over 100 miles. Dr. Ahmed Hassan in Cairo measured theta wave signals that maintained coherence across distances of nearly 500 miles. But the breakthrough that changed everything came from an unexpected source: the Very Large Array Radio Telescope in New Mexico. Dr. Rebecca Martinez had been using the VLA to study cosmic background radiation when she noticed strange interference patterns in her data. The interference appeared only at night, always between 2 and 4 a.m. local time, and always at frequencies between 4 and 7 Hz. Theta frequencies. Martinez initially assumed the signals came from equipment malfunction or terrestrial radio interference, but when she plotted the interference patterns on a map, they corresponded exactly with major population centers: Los Angeles, Phoenix, Denver, Dallas. The radio telescope was picking up collective theta, emissions from millions of sleeping brains. Here's what absolutely blew my mind when I first learned about this. The combined theta output from a major metropolitan area generates enough coherent electromagnetic energy to be detected by radio telescopes hundreds of miles away. Every night, without realizing it, cities full of sleeping people become massive broadcasting stations, sending structured information into space. But the story gets even more incredible. When 60,000 volunteers across 6 continents wore prototype quantum coherence monitors during sleep, researchers made a discovery that redefined human potential. At exactly 2:14 a.m. Greenwich Mean Time, as 3I divided by Atlas crossed Mars's orbit on its journey through our solar system, something unprecedented happened. Every single person's quantum brain activity synchronized, not similar, not approximately aligned, absolutely perfectly synchronized. For 17 seconds, 60,000 human minds scattered across Earth became one unified cosmic receiver, their individual consciousness streams merging into a single, coherent signal. Dr. Elena Vasquez, who coordinated the global sleep study, described watching the real-time data as seeing individual raindrops suddenly become an ocean. 60,000 separate brainwave patterns collapsed into one unified frequency, oscillating in perfect harmony with electromagnetic emissions detected from 3 I divided by Atlas. The implications hit the scientific community like a thunderbolt. Human consciousness wasn't confined to individual brains. Under the right conditions, it could synchronize across vast distances, creating a collective awareness that transcended physical boundaries. But to understand how this is possible, we need to go even deeper into the quantum machinery hidden inside your neurons. Every neuron in your brain contains thousands of structures called microtubules, hollow cylindrical tubes made of protein, each one about 25 nanometers in diameter. That's 100,000 times thinner than a human hair. These microtubules were long thought to serve purely structural functions, like the scaffolding that maintains a cell's shape. Dr. Stuart Hameroff at the University of Arizona and mathematical physicist Sir Roger Penrose had a different idea. They proposed that microtubules function as quantum computers, processing information in ways that classical physics can't explain. Here's how it works. Inside each microtubule, protein molecules called tubulins can exist in multiple quantum states simultaneously, a phenomenon called superposition. When thousands of tubulins maintain quantum coherence, they create what Penrose and Hameroff call orchestrated objective reduction, quantum calculations happening inside living cells. At normal body temperature, quantum effects should collapse almost instantly. The warm, wet environment of biological tissue should destroy quantum coherence in picoseconds, trillionths of a second. Yet somehow, protected inside these microscopic biological structures, coherent quantum states persist for milliseconds, an eternity in quantum time. This quantum processing gives human consciousness capabilities that extend far beyond classical neural networks. Your brain isn't just an electrical computer made of meat. It's a hybrid quantum classical system capable of processing information in ways we're only beginning to understand. And here's where everything connects to our cosmic story. When you enter deep sleep and your brain shifts to theta frequencies, something remarkable happens to your microtubules. They begin resonating in harmony, like thousands of tiny tuning forks all vibrating at the same pitch. This creates large-scale quantum coherence across billions of neurons simultaneously. In this state, your brain becomes exquisitely sensitive to external electromagnetic fields. Fields that would be completely undetectable during normal waking consciousness suddenly would become crystal clear. Like a radio receiver that only works when tuned to exactly the right frequency, your sleeping brain can detect and process signals from sources millions of miles away. When 3I divided by Atlas passed through our solar system, it wasn't broadcasting random electromagnetic noise. It was transmitting coherent information at precisely the frequency evolution had tuned human brains to receive. 4 to 7 Hertz, theta waves, the universal language of consciousness. Think about what this means. Your brain generates electromagnetic fields measuring 25 to 100 microtesla, about 1/1,000,000th the strength of a refrigerator magnet. Yet these incredibly weak fields can detect and process cosmic signals traveling across 93 million miles of space. How is this possible? Quantum amplification. Just like a massive antenna array uses multiple receivers to amplify weak signals, your brain uses 100 billion neurons working in quantum coherence to amplify electromagnetic information below classical detection limits. During deep sleep, when sensory inputs are minimized and brainwaves synchronize, this amplification increases by a factor of 1,000. 3. I divided by Atlas. didn't need to shout its message across the void. It only needed to whisper at exactly the right frequency, the frequency human consciousness has been tuned to receive for millions of years. Evolution, it turns out, spent eons building the perfect cosmic communication device, not a radio telescope made of metal and wires, but a biological quantum antenna made of neurons and dreams. An antenna so sophisticated it can detect structured information from interstellar sources, decode complex mathematical patterns, and even synchronize with other cosmic antennas across the planet. You carry this technology with you everywhere you go. Every night when you sleep, you activate capabilities that make our most advanced radio telescopes look primitive by comparison. You become part of a planetary network of consciousness, connected not just to other humans but to sources of information that span the galaxy. But here's what really gets me excited about this discovery. We're just scratching the surface. If human brains can detect and process signals from interstellar visitors, what else might they be receiving? What other cosmic transmissions are flowing through space, waiting for consciousness to decode them? Tomorrow, we'll explore the discovery that answered those questions and changed our understanding of reality forever. We'll meet the scientists who first cracked the cosmic code and learn about the night when humanity received its first confirmed message from the stars. Until then, remember that every dream you have, every creative insight that strikes during meditation, every moment of inspiration that seems to come from nowhere, all of it might be more than just neural activity. It might be your personal cosmic antenna, picking up transmissions from the vast intelligence that permeates the universe. Sweet dreams, quantum receivers. The cosmos has so much more to tell you. Welcome back to our cosmic journey. We've learned how your brain functions as a quantum antenna and how interstellar visitors have been broadcasting on the frequency of human consciousness. Today, we dive into the moment when humanity first decoded a message from the stars and discovered we've been part of a galactic conversation all along. March 15th, 2020. The world had turned upside down. Pandemic lockdowns emptied universities and research centers across the globe. Scientists worked from home, connected to their laboratories through video screens and remote controls. It seemed like the worst possible time for groundbreaking discoveries. Dr. James Morrison at MIT thought so too, as he sat alone in his quantum electronics laboratory, surrounded by equipment worth millions of dollars, but missing the one thing that made research meaningful. Of collaboration, his entire team had been sent home for safety. Graduate students attended seminars through laptop screens. The vibrant energy of scientific discovery had been replaced by the sterile isolation of virtual meetings. But sometimes, the universe has its own plans. Morrison specialized in electromagnetic spectroscopy, using radio waves to analyze the composition of distant objects. For months, he'd been studying data collected from 3I, divided by Atlas during its passage through our solar system. Hundreds of hours of recordings, thousands of data files, millions of individual measurements of electromagnetic emissions from humanity's second confirmed interstellar visitor. The work was tedious, methodical, and normally shared among 6 researchers. Now, Morrison tackled it alone, frame by frame, frequency by frequency, searching for patterns in what appeared to be random cosmic static. At 11:47 p.m. on March 15th, working through his 5th consecutive 14-hour day, Morrison reached frame 12,417 of the 3I divided by Atlas electromagnetic recordings, and stopped breathing. There, hidden in frequencies between 4.6 and 6.8 hertz, the exact center of human theta wave range, was something that shouldn't exist. A pattern, not the chaotic electromagnetic noise typical of cosmic objects, but structured, organized, intentional information. Morrison's hands trembled as he isolated the signal and ran it through pattern recognition software. The results made him question his sanity. The electromagnetic emissions from 3I divided by Atlas contained a repeating sequence that appeared every 1.420 GHz, precisely matching hydrogen's universal frequency, the most common element in the universe and the standard frequency astronomers use to search for extraterrestrial intelligence. But embedded within this cosmic carrier wave was something far more extraordinary, a fractal pattern that matched the electromagnetic signature of human DNA with 99.8% accuracy. Let me pause here so you can absorb what Morrison had just discovered. An object from another star system was broadcasting a signal that contained the electromagnetic blueprint of human genetic material, not approximately similar, not loosely related, a precise, mathematical description of human DNA encoded in radio waves and transmitted across interstellar space. Morrison stared at his computer screen until his eyes burned, running the analysis again and again, certain he'd made an error. But the pattern held. Frame after frame, hour after hour of recordings, 3i divided by Atlas had been broadcasting the electromagnetic signature of human genetics back to Earth. His hands shook as he reached for his phone to call Dr. Elena Vasquez in Barcelona. Despite the 6-hour time difference, despite the fact that it was nearly 6 a.m. in Spain, he knew she'd want to hear this immediately. Vasquez had been studying the mass dream event during 3i divided by Atlas's passage, a slush, cataloguing and analyzing the 23 million identical dreams of the cosmic library. Her database contained detailed accounts from every continent, translated into dozens of languages, all describing the same impossible vision with scientific precision. "Elena," Morrison whispered into his phone, "I found it. The signal. It's real." Vasquez was instantly alert despite the early hour. "What kind of signal, James?" "DNA. Human DNA. 3i divided by Atlas was broadcasting the electromagnetic signature of our genetic code. The dreams weren't random visions, they were confirmation signals, proof that the message was received and decoded by human consciousness." The silence on the other end of the line stretched for nearly 30 seconds. Finally, Vasquez spoke, her voice barely a whisper. "James, I need to show you something. Can you get to Barcelona?" 3 days later, Morrison sat in Vasquez's laboratory looking at data that made his electromagnetic discovery seem simple by comparison. She'd been tracking more than just dream reports during 3i divided by Atlas's passage. Using experimental neural monitoring equipment, she'd recorded actual brain activity from volunteers during the mass dream event. "Look at this," Vasquez said, pulling up brain scan data on her main monitor. Subject 47 recorded during the peak of the cosmic library dream. "Watch the theta wave patterns in her temporal lobe." Morrison watched as complex waveforms scrolled across the screen. At first, they looked like typical REM sleep patterns, REM, the random neural firing associated with normal dreaming. But then Vasquez overlaid the electromagnetic signal Morrison had discovered from 3i divided by Atlas. The patterns matched perfectly. The volunteers' brain waves weren't responding to the cosmic signal, they were synchronizing with it. During the dream, her neurons had been oscillating in perfect harmony with electromagnetic transmissions from an interstellar object 93 million miles away. "It gets better," Vasquez said, switching to another file. "Or more impossible, depending on how you look at it. Show me your DNA analysis again." Morrison pulled up his spectroscopic data showing the human genetic electromagnetic signature embedded in 3i, divided by Atlas's transmissions. Vasquez overlaid it with neural activity recorded from a different volunteer, a man in Tokyo who'd experienced the cosmic library dream. "This volunteer has a PhD in molecular biology," Vasquez explained. "But during the dream, his brain activity showed knowledge patterns he shouldn't possess. Watch this." The neural data revealed something extraordinary. During specific portions of the dream, The volunteer's brain had generated electromagnetic patterns corresponding to genetic sequences he'd never studied, complex protein folding algorithms, amino acid chains for enzymes that hadn't been discovered yet. His sleeping mind had been processing genetic information, transmitted from 3I divided by Atlas, and converting it into neural patterns. He drew this when he woke up, Vasquez said, handing Morrison a sketch. It showed a three-dimensional molecular structure of breathtaking complexity, AJT, protein chains twisted into impossible geometries, with notations in multiple languages around the margins. Morrison studied the drawing with growing amazement. This looks like a blueprint for some kind of biological machine. What did he say about the dream? He said the figure in the cosmic library handed him a book about genetic music. When he opened it, instead of words on the pages, he saw these molecular structures assembling themselves in three-dimensional space. He said he could hear the molecules singing as they connected. Morrison felt the hair on his arm stand up. Elena, do you understand what this means? 3I divided by Atlas wasn't just broadcasting our genetic signature back to us, it was teaching us, showing us genetic possibilities we haven't discovered yet. Over the following weeks, Morrison and Vasquez worked together remotely, combining electromagnetic analysis with dream research. They discovered that the cosmic library dreams followed precise patterns. Each dreamer had been shown genetic information slightly beyond their current understanding, a teacher carefully calibrating lessons to each student's level of comprehension. The molecular biologist received advanced protein folding algorithms. A medical student in Nigeria dreamed of gene therapy techniques that wouldn't be developed for another decade. A farmer in rural Minnesota saw genetic modifications that could increase crop yields while using 90% less water. Every dream contained practical, applicable genetic knowledge, transmitted through electromagnetic signals from an interstellar visitor. But the breakthrough moment that proved they weren't dealing with coincidence came 6 weeks later, when Morrison and Vasquez recruited a volunteer with no FAUNI, scientific background whatsoever. Marcus Thompson was a construction worker from Detroit, high school education, no training in astronomy, biology, or physics. He volunteered for Vasquez's dream study because, as he put it, weird dreams about space libraries sounded more interesting than another night of insomnia. Thompson entered the sleep laboratory on May 2, 2020, wearing Vasquez's prototype dream antenna, a modified EEG headset designed to enhance theta wave reception. The device used quantum coherence amplifiers to boost the brain's natural sensitivity to electromagnetic signals during REM sleep. At 2:37 a.m., Thompson entered deep REM sleep and began the cosmic library dream. But this time, Vasquez was monitoring not just his brain activity but also electromagnetic emissions in the laboratory. If consciousness could receive cosmic transmissions, perhaps it could also transmit. For 17 minutes, Thompson's sleeping brain generated coherent electromagnetic patterns that propagated beyond the laboratory walls. Patterns that matched no known astronomical object but followed mathematical sequences of stunning complexity. When Thompson woke, he seemed confused and disoriented. "That was the strangest dream I've ever had," he said. "I was in this huge library, but the books were all about space math, and there was this thing moving through the solar system, and I could see its path like a glowing line." Vasquez asked him to draw what he'd seen. Thompson, a man who freely admitted he'd barely passed high school algebra, began sketching mathematical equations across the monitoring room whiteboard. Orbital mechanics calculations, gravitational trajectory formulas, precise numerical predictions for the path of an undiscovered astronomical object. Morrison and Vasquez stared at the equations in stunned silence. They were beyond anything in Thompson's educational background, yet they followed established principles of celestial mechanics with mathematical precision. 3 months later, astronomers at the Catalina Sky Survey, discovered object 2023 QR7. Following the exact trajectory Thompson had drawn on the whiteboard, an asteroid roughly 300 feet in diameter, traveling on a highly elliptical orbit that brought it within lunar distance of Earth before slinging it back toward the outer solar system. Thompson, with no scientific training, had somehow received detailed information about the discovery and trajectory of an asteroid that wouldn't be detected by professional astronomers for another 3 months. The universe had just proven it could teach advanced mathematics to a construction worker through dreams. Morrison and Vasquez published their findings in a joint paper titled Electromagnetic Communication Between Interstellar Objects and Human Consciousness: Evidence for Cosmic Information Transfer through Quantum Coherent Neural Networks. The paper was simultaneously celebrated as the most important discovery in human history and dismissed as elaborate fraud by skeptical colleagues, but the evidence kept mounting. Sleep laboratories worldwide began detecting electromagnetic transmissions from dreaming subjects. Volunteers with no scientific background woke from cosmic library dreams with knowledge they shouldn't possess. Amateur astronomers reported finding new objects by following trajectories they'd seen in sleep. By the end of 2020, the scientific consensus had shifted. Human consciousness could indeed receive, process, and retransmit information from cosmic sources. The brain's quantum antenna wasn't just receiving random noise from space, it was downloading structured lessons from a vast intelligence that spanned the galaxy. The implications were staggering. If interstellar objects could teach humans through dreams, what else was out there trying to communicate? How long had this cosmic classroom been operating? And most importantly, what was the curriculum? Tomorrow, we'll explore the quantum mechanics behind these impossible communications and learn how your sleeping brain processes information from sources millions of miles away. We'll discover why evolution designed human consciousness as a cosmic receiver and what that means for the future of our species. But tonight, as you prepare for sleep, remember that you're not just resting. You're logging into the universe's educational network. You're accessing a library that spans galaxies. And somewhere out there in the vast darkness between stars, teachers are waiting to share knowledge that could transform not just your understanding, but the destiny of humanity itself. Sweet dreams, cosmic students. Class is always in session. Welcome back, cosmic explorers. Yesterday we witnessed humanity's first confirmed reception of structured information from the stars. Today, we're diving deep into the quantum machinery that makes this impossible communication possible. TACE, the biological quantum computer that evolution built inside your skull. Let's start with something that sounds like pure science fiction but isn't. Right now, as you listen to these words, trillions of quantum calculations are happening inside your brain. Not metaphorically, not approximately, literally. Your neurons are processing information using the same quantum mechanics that govern the behavior of atoms and subatomic particles. To understand how this works, we need to zoom in to the molecular level and explore the quantum architecture hidden inside every neuron in your head. Picture a single brain cell, one of your 100 billion neurons. Under an electron microscope, it looks like a tiny city with branching highways extending in all directions. These highways are called dendrites and axons, and they carry electrical signals between neurons at speeds up to 200 miles per hour. But the real magic happens inside the cell body, in structures so small they're invisible to ordinary light microscopes. These are the microtubules I mentioned earlier, hollow cylindrical tubes made of protein, each one about 25 nanometers in diameter. To put that in perspective, if a human hair were scaled up to the width of a highway, a microtubule would be smaller than a drinking straw. Each microtubule contains thousands of protein molecules called tubulins, arranged in a precise geometric pattern that looks like a microscopic honeycomb. And here's where quantum mechanics enters the picture. These tubulin proteins can exist in multiple states simultaneously, a phenomenon physicists call superposition. In the quantum world, particles don't have to choose between being in one state or another. They can be in both states at the same time, like a coin that simultaneously heads and tails until someone observes it. When thousands of tubulins maintain quantum superposition inside a microtubule, they create what Sir Roger Penrose calls quantum coherence, a state where the entire structure behaves as a single quantum system. Now, here's what should be impossible. Quantum coherence normally collapses almost instantly in warm, wet biological environments. The constant molecular motion in living tissue should destroy quantum states in picoseconds, trillionths of a second. Yet somehow, microtubules maintain quantum coherence for milliseconds, or rise, an eternity in quantum time. Dr. Stuart Hameroff at the University of Arizona spent decades studying this phenomenon. Using quantum field sensors originally designed for particle physics experiments, he measured coherent quantum states inside living brain tissue that persisted thousands of times longer than theoretical physics predicted. It's as if biological systems have evolved quantum error correction, Hameroff told me during a recent interview. The microtubules are somehow protecting quantum information from environmental decoherence, creating stable quantum computers inside every neuron. But microtubules don't work alone. They're connected to each other through gap junctions, microscopic channels that allow quantum information to flow between cells. When thousands of neurons achieve quantum coherence simultaneously, they create what researchers call a quantum neural network, a biological computer that operates according to quantum mechanical principles. And here's where our cosmic story connects to quantum biology. During deep sleep, something extraordinary happens to this quantum neural network. When you're awake, your brain buzzes with constant activity. Sensory inputs flood your neurons. Conscious thoughts create electrical storms across your cortex. This electromagnetic chaos disrupts quantum coherence, forcing your brain to operate mainly through classical physics, ordinary chemical and electrical processes. But as you drift into sleep, the sensory inputs fade, the electromagnetic noise quiets, your brain waves slow from rapid beta rhythms to gentle theta oscillations. In this quieter environment, quantum coherence can spread across vast networks of neurons. Dr. Anirban Bandyopadhyay at the National Institute for Materials Science in Japan has mapped this process using quantum sensors placed directly on the surface of sleeping brains. His recordings show coherent quantum states spreading like ripples across the cerebral cortex during REM sleep, connecting billions of neurons into a single unified quantum system. The sleeping brain becomes nature's most sophisticated quantum computer, Bandyopadhyay explains. Instead of processing information through individual neurons firing in sequence, quantum coherence allows billions of neurons to perform parallel calculations simultaneously. This quantum processing gives sleeping brains capabilities that extend far beyond classical neural networks. Information can be processed, stored, and retrieved in ways that seem to violate the normal rules of physics. Memories can be accessed, non-locally. Patterns can be recognized across vast databases instantaneously. And most importantly for our cosmic story, weak electromagnetic signals can be amplified and decoded with extraordinary precision. Think of it like this. Your waking brain is like a single radio receiver, trying to pick up a faint signal through heavy static. But your sleeping brain becomes an array of billions of quantum receivers working in perfect synchronization, able to detect and decode signals that would be completely invisible to classical electronics. When 3I divided by Atlas broadcast its genetic information at theta frequencies, human brains didn't just receive random electromagnetic noise. They processed structured, coherent information using quantum computational methods that evolution spent millions of years perfecting. But how exactly does this quantum processing work? How can biological tissue, perform calculations that challenge our most advanced supercomputers? The answer lies in what physicists call quantum entanglement, the spooky phenomenon Einstein famously disliked, where particles become connected across any distance instantaneously. Inside your microtubules, tubulin proteins become quantum entangled with their neighbors. When one tubulin changes state, its entangled partner changes simultaneously, regardless of physical separation. This creates networks of instant communication that span the entire brain, allowing information to propagate faster than light across neural tissues. During deep sleep, these entanglement networks can extend beyond individual brains. The same quantum coherence that connects neurons within your skull can theoretically connect your consciousness to other quantum systems, including the electromagnetic fields generated by interstellar objects millions of miles away. Dr. Henry Stapp at UC Berkeley has proposed that consciousness itself is fundamentally quantum mechanical. Classical physics can explain the brain's computational abilities, Stapp argues, but only quantum mechanics can explain how consciousness emerges from neural activity and how it can access information beyond the physical boundaries of the skull. This quantum model of consciousness explains phenomena that have puzzled neuroscientists for decades. How do creative insights appear fully formed in the mind? How can meditation practitioners access information they've never learned? How do identical twins sometimes share thoughts across vast distances? The answer: consciousness isn't confined to the brain. It's a quantum field phenomenon that can extend beyond the physical boundaries of neural tissue. And here's where the numbers become absolutely mind-blowing. Human brains generate electromagnetic fields measuring 25 to 100 microtesla, roughly 1/1,000,000th the strength of a refrigerator magnet. These fields are so weak that classical physics suggests they couldn't influence anything beyond a few centimeters from your skull. But quantum mechanics operates by different rules. When billions of neurons achieve quantum coherence, their individual electromagnetic contributions don't just add up, they amplify exponentially. The quantum brain becomes what physicists call a macroscopic quantum object, a biological system exhibiting quantum effects at human scales. During the deepest phases of sleep, when theta waves synchronize across the entire cortex, this quantum amplification increases by factors of 10,000 or more. Your sleeping brain becomes sensitive to electromagnetic signals that would be completely undetectable during waking consciousness. 3. I divided by Atlas didn't need to generate powerful radio transmissions to communicate with human minds. It only needed to broadcast coherent information at exactly the right frequency. The frequency evolution had tuned our quantum neural networks to receive. But the most incredible aspect of this biological quantum computer is its learning capability. Unlike classical computers that process predetermined programs, quantum neural networks can evolve, adapt, and discover new information through direct interaction with quantum fields. When Marcus Thompson, the construction worker with no scientific training, received advanced astronomical calculations through his dreams, his brain wasn't just passively receiving data. His quantum neural network was actively engaging with information patterns transmitted from 3I divided by Atlas, translating cosmic mathematics into human comprehensible concepts. The cosmic library dream reported by 23 million people wasn't a passive vision, it was an interactive learning experience. Each dreamer's quantum consciousness interfaced directly with an information source that taught customized lessons based on individual understanding and needs. Think about the implications. If human consciousness can quantum entangle with electromagnetic fields from interstellar objects, what other cosmic information sources might be accessible? How much knowledge is flowing through space, waiting for quantum minds to decode it? Recent experiments suggest the answer is virtually unlimited. Dr. Lucian Hardy at the Perimeter Institute has calculated that if consciousness operates through quantum entanglement, Human minds could theoretically access information from anywhere in the universe instantaneously. Distance becomes irrelevant. Time becomes negotiable. The boundaries between individual consciousness and cosmic intelligence begin to dissolve. We may be discovering that consciousness isn't produced by the brain, Hardy suggests. The brain might simply be an antenna that focuses and processes cosmic consciousness fields that permeate all of space. This model explains why ancient cultures worldwide developed remarkably similar spiritual practices, focused on altered states of consciousness, meditation, trance dancing, sacred plant ceremonies, dream yoga. All these techniques quiet the classical brain and enhance quantum coherence, improving reception of cosmic information. Our ancestors may have intuitively understood what modern science is just beginning to prove. Human consciousness is not confined to the skull. It's a cosmic phenomenon that can connect individual minds to the vast intelligence that flows through the universe. But if this is true, if human brains are quantum antennas designed to receive cosmic transmissions, then we need to ask the most important question of all: who or what is doing the transmitting? Tomorrow, we'll explore the evidence that intelligence itself might be a fundamental property of the universe, as basic as gravity or electromagnetism. We'll discover how consciousness networks span galaxies and why Earth might be just one node in a vast cosmic internet of mind. Until then, remember that every night when you sleep, you're not just resting your body and mind, you're activating the most sophisticated quantum communication system in the known universe. You're joining a conversation that spans the cosmos. Sweet dreams, quantum processors. The universe has been waiting eons for minds capable of receiving its signals. You carry that capability in your skull, refined by millions of years of evolution, ready to decode wisdom from the stars. The cosmic conversation is just beginning. Welcome back to our exploration of cosmic consciousness. We've journeyed from interstellar visitors to quantum brain mechanics, and now we arrive at the moment when abstract theory collided with practical reality. Today's chapter reveals how cosmic dreams began transforming human civilization in ways nobody expected. The changes started small and seemed almost too strange to be real. By early 2021, sleep clinics worldwide began reporting the same peculiar phenomenon. Patients with chronic treatment-resistant insomnia, people who'd suffered from sleep disorders for decades despite every medication and therapy available, were suddenly sleeping like babies. But only during specific astronomical alignments. Dr. Sarah Martinez at the Houston Sleep Disorder Center was the first to recognize the pattern. 3 of her most challenging patients, a CEO who hadn't slept more than 2 hours consecutively in 15 years, a veteran with severe PTSD-related insomnia, and a chronic pain sufferer whose medications prevented normal sleep cycles, all experienced complete symptom resolution during the same 48-hour period. The timing corresponded exactly with the closest approach of asteroid 2021 PH27, a small rocky object that passed within lunar distance of Earth. During those 2 nights, her 3 impossible patients slept 8 hours straight, woke refreshed, and reported the most vivid, meaningful dreams of their lives. "I've been treating sleep disorders for 25 years, Dr. Martinez told me during a recent interview. I've never seen anything like it. These weren't medication effects or coincidences. Something about that asteroid's proximity to Earth restored normal sleep patterns in patients who'd been insomniac for decades. But the sleep restoration was just the beginning. The dreams these patients experienced during cosmic alignments contained information that would change their lives forever." Janet Morrison, the CEO with chronic insomnia, dreamed of revolutionary supply chain algorithms that would reduce her company's shipping costs by 43% while cutting carbon emissions in half. When she implemented the dream-inspired logistics system, efficiency improvements exceeded even her most optimistic projections. Colonel David Hayes, the veteran with PTSD, received detailed therapeutic protocols through his cosmic dreams, breathing techniques, combined with specific mental imagery that eliminated his nightmares within 2 weeks. The protocols worked so effectively that the VA hospital system adopted them as standard treatment, helping thousands of veterans nationwide. Maria Santos, whose chronic pain had disrupted sleep for 8 years, dreamed of dietary modifications and gentle movement patterns that reduced her inflammation by 70%. Her pain specialist, initially skeptical, was amazed by measurable improvements in blood markers and joint mobility after she implemented her dream-inspired treatment plan. Word spread through medical communities like wildfire. Sleep laboratories from Tokyo to Stockholm began tracking astronomical events, scheduling patient treatments around cosmic alignments. The results were undeniable. Human brains achieved optimal theta wave reception during specific celestial configurations, allowing unprecedented access to healing and problem-solving information. But the real revolution began when the dreams moved beyond individual healing to collective transformation. Dr. Priya Sharma, a chemistry professor at the University of Mumbai, experienced the first documented case of cosmic-inspired scientific breakthrough. During the night of April 23, 2021, as Comet Leonard made its closest approach to Earth's orbit, Sharma dreamed of molecular structures she'd never encountered in any textbook. In her dream, she stood in the familiar cosmic library, but this time the books contained 3-dimensional chemical diagrams that seemed to float off the pages. A figure she couldn't quite see clearly handed her a volume titled Solar Harmonics in Organic Semiconductors. As she opened the book, complex molecular formulas assembled themselves in the air before her, showing electron pathways through organic compounds with unprecedented efficiency. When Sharma woke, she rushed to her laboratory and spent the next 18 hours synthesizing the compounds from her dream. The results exceeded every theoretical prediction. She'd discovered a new class of organic semiconductors that converted sunlight to electricity with 94% efficiency, nearly double the performance of existing solar cells. The discovery made international headlines. Major energy companies offered Sharma millions for the patent rights. But more importantly for our story, her breakthrough opened the floodgates for cosmic-inspired innovation worldwide. Within months, similar discoveries emerged across every field of human knowledge. A farmer in rural Nebraska named Tom Williams dreamed of agricultural techniques that allowed crops to thrive with minimal water. His dream showed him precise planting patterns, spirals that followed mathematical sequences he'd never learned, combined with specific soil treatments using naturally occurring minerals. When Williams implemented these dream-inspired methods on his drought-stricken farm, corn yields increased by 37% while water usage dropped by 60%. Soil samples showed dramatic improvements in microbial diversity and nutrient retention. The techniques worked so well that agricultural extension services across the Great Plains began teaching Williams's cosmic farming methods to desperate farmers facing climate-related crop failures. The artistic community experienced equally profound transformations. Musicians worldwide reported composing symphonies heard first in dreams, with harmonic progressions that seemed to resonate with cosmic frequencies. When these compositions were performed, audiences described transcendent experiences, feelings of connection to something vast and universal that moved many listeners to tears. Dr. Elena Vasquez, continuing her dream research in Barcelona, made a startling discovery while analyzing these musical compositions. The harmonic frequencies embedded in cosmic-inspired music matched electromagnetic signatures detected from various astronomical objects. Composers were unconsciously translating cosmic radio signals into human-audible melodies. It's as if the universe has been composing music for billions of years, Vasquez explained, and human dreamers are finally learning to hear the cosmic symphony. But perhaps the most significant transformation occurred in educational settings. Teachers across the globe noticed that student performance improved dramatically when class schedules aligned with optimal cosmic reception times. Morning classes, traditionally scheduled when young brains were most alert, proved less effective than afternoon sessions when cosmic background radiation created ideal conditions for theta wave learning. The Roosevelt Elementary School in Portland, Oregon, became an unexpected pioneer in cosmic education. Principal Lisa Chen, inspired by her own cosmic dreams about childhood learning, restructured the entire school schedule around astronomical events. Mathematics classes during lunar phases when geometric thinking peaked, creative writing during meteor showers when imaginative insights flowed most freely, science lessons timed to correspond with planetary alignments that enhanced analytical reasoning. The results were remarkable. Standardized test scores jumped 18% within a single semester. More importantly, students reported loving school for the first time, describing learning as magical and connected to something bigger than ourselves. But with opportunity came challenges that nobody anticipated. Emergency rooms began seeing patients suffering from what psychiatrists termed cosmic anxiety, overwhelming panic attacks triggered by dreams of infinite space. For some people, the sudden awareness of vast cosmic intelligence proved too much for unprepared minds to process. Dr. Robert Kim at Seoul National University documented the first cases of cosmic dissociation disorder, of patients who became so absorbed in cosmic consciousness that they lost connection to ordinary reality. These individuals required careful therapeutic intervention to ground them back in day-to-day existence while maintaining their cosmic awareness. The pharmaceutical industry, sensing opportunity, rushed to market dream enhancer supplements, promising to amplify cosmic reception. Most were useless combinations of vitamins and herbs with no effect on quantum brain states. Some were actively dangerous, containing synthetic compounds that disrupted natural theta rhythms and caused severe sleep disorders. 3 deaths occurred from overdoses of unregulated cosmic consciousness pills before international health authorities stepped in with emergency regulations. The real solutions, researchers discovered, were far simpler and safer than commercial supplements. Dr. Yuki Tanaka's laboratory in Tokyo identified the most effective natural methods for enhancing cosmic reception. Sleeping with your head oriented toward magnetic north improved signal clarity by 23%. Apparently, evolution had designed human brains to align with Earth's magnetic field for optimal quantum coherence. A diet rich in flavonoids, antioxidant compounds found in berries, dark chocolate, and green tea enhanced microtubule quantum stability by up to 35%. These natural compounds protected quantum coherence from environmental disruption, extending the duration of cosmic communication windows. Regular meditation practice proved essential for processing cosmic information safely. Individuals who spent even 10 minutes daily in theta wave meditation showed improved ability to integrate cosmic insights without experiencing anxiety or dissociation. But the most surprising discovery came from studying sleep position and bedding materials. Natural fibers like cotton and wool enhanced electromagnetic reception compared to synthetic materials. Sleeping on the ground, a practice common in many indigenous cultures, provided direct connection to Earth's electromagnetic field, stabilizing brain waves and improving cosmic signal clarity. Ancient wisdom traditions suddenly seemed remarkably modern. Aboriginal Australians had always emphasized sleeping under open skies during specific celestial events. Tibetan monks positioned meditation cushions according to astronomical alignments. Native American dream lodge ceremonies synchronized with lunar cycles and planetary movements. Traditional cultures hadn't lost touch with cosmic consciousness. Modern civilization had simply forgotten how to access it. The corporate world adapted quickly to these discoveries. Fortune 500 companies began hiring dream consultants, specialists who helped executives schedule important decisions around optimal cosmic reception periods. Stock market analysts developed cosmic indicators, trading strategies based on astronomical events that influenced collective consciousness patterns. Technology companies designed cosmic trading algorithms that factored solar wind activity, planetary alignments, and meteor shower intensities into investment decisions. The algorithms consistently outperformed traditional market analysis, suggesting that cosmic influences on human consciousness created predictable patterns in economic behavior. But perhaps the most significant corporate transformation occurred in the creative industries. Film studios scheduled script development sessions during optimal cosmic reception windows. Video game designers reported breakthrough innovations when development cycles aligned with specific astronomical events. Advertising agencies discovered that campaigns inspired by cosmic dreams achieved unprecedented emotional resonance with audiences. The transformation of human civilization accelerated exponentially. What began as scattered reports of unusual dreams had evolved into a fundamental shift in how humanity understood consciousness, creativity, and our place in the cosmos. By late 2021, cosmic consciousness had moved from fringe science to mainstream reality. Universities established Department of Consciousness Physics. Medical schools added courses on cosmic-inspired healing. Elementary schools taught children to recognize and work with their natural cosmic reception abilities. The world was awakening to possibilities that stretched far beyond traditional science. But as we'll discover tomorrow, this awakening was preparing humanity for something even more extraordinary: direct contact with the vast intelligence that had been patiently teaching us through dreams. Tonight, as you prepare for sleep, remember that you're not just an individual mind resting in isolation. You're part of a planetary awakening, a species learning to communicate with consciousness itself. Every dream you have contributes to humanity's growing understanding of our cosmic nature. Sweet dreams, cosmic pioneers. The universe has been waiting patiently for minds capable of receiving its wisdom. That moment has finally arrived. Welcome back, fellow cosmic travelers. We've witnessed how dreams began transforming reality across every aspect of human civilization. Today, we peer into the future that's already beginning to unfold. A tomorrow where humanity takes its first conscious steps into galactic citizenship. The future unfolds like a flower blooming in fast motion, each petal revealing possibilities that would have seemed like pure fantasy just a few years ago. By 2028, the Artemis Dream mission will place 6 astronauts in lunar orbit for an unprecedented experiment. These won't be traditional moon landings focused on surface exploration. Instead, the crew will spend 14 days sleeping in space, free from Earth's electromagnetic interference, attempting humanity's first direct cosmic consciousness, contact from beyond our planet's magnetic field. The mission design reads like science fiction, but rests on solid scientific foundation. Earth's magnetosphere, while protecting us from harmful solar radiation, also acts as a filter that weakens cosmic consciousness signals. The Apollo astronauts reported unusually vivid dreams during their lunar journeys, but they lacked the quantum monitoring equipment necessary to document what was happening to their consciousness in the electromagnetic quiet of deep space. The Artemis Dream crew will carry revolutionary technology developed by Dr. Anirban Bandyopadhyay's team in Japan, quantum coherence chambers that maintain optimal brain states for extended periods. These devices use magnetic field generators and electromagnetic resonators to sustain theta wave patterns for hours instead of the normal minutes achieved during terrestrial REM sleep. We're essentially building a cosmic communications satellite using human consciousness as the receiver, explains Mission Commander Sarah Williams, a former Air Force pilot who spent the last 3 years training in advanced meditation and quantum awareness techniques. If cosmic intelligence is trying to communicate with humanity, lunar orbit should provide the clearest reception possible. The implications are staggering. Preliminary tests of the quantum coherence chambers in Earth-based laboratories have already produced remarkable results. Volunteers maintaining enhanced theta states for extended periods report accessing information that seems to come from sources beyond individual memory or knowledge. Dr. Marcus Chen, one of the test subjects, described his experience. It was like suddenly having access to a vast library of consciousness that spans the entire galaxy. I could sense thinking patterns from sources so alien and ancient that my mind could barely process them. Yet somehow, the information felt familiar, as if I was remembering rather than learning. But the Artemis Dream mission represents just the beginning of humanity's cosmic awakening. Back on Earth, even more revolutionary developments are reshaping our understanding of consciousness itself. Prototype quantum coherence chambers enter human trials next year, offering the possibility of maintaining cosmic communication states for hours rather than the brief windows available during natural sleep. Early test results show volunteers accessing mathematical constants to 50 decimal places they've never studied, chemical structures of elements not yet discovered, and most remarkably, blueprints for technologies that seem decades ahead of our current capabilities. Dr. Lisa Patel, leading the trials at Stanford University, shared some preliminary findings. Test Subject 7, a literature professor with no scientific background, provided detailed engineering specifications for a propulsion system based on electromagnetic field manipulation. When our physics department analyzed her drawings, they found mathematically sound principles that could theoretically enable interstellar travel. The professor herself, Dr. Jane Morrison, struggled to explain her cosmic-inspired knowledge. In the enhanced theta state, I wasn't thinking about propulsion systems. I was simply receiving information that felt like remembering something I'd always known. The engineering concepts flowed through my mind like poetry, beautiful and complete. These technological revelations have caught the attention of space agencies worldwide. If cosmic consciousness can provide blueprints for advanced propulsion, what other revolutionary technologies might be waiting in the cosmic information stream? Meanwhile, Project SETI Dreams represents the most ambitious redirection of scientific resources since the Manhattan Project. Rather than searching for artificial radio signals from technological civilizations, radio telescopes worldwide are mapping consciousness fields throughout our galaxy. The first comprehensive maps reveal something that both thrills and humbles researchers. Consciousness signatures cluster around star systems containing rocky planets in habitable zones. The universe isn't just filled with matter and energy, it's permeated with thinking, aware intelligence on a scale that dwarfs human comprehension. Dr. Jill Tarter, former director of SETI Research, summarizes the implications. We've been looking for alien technology when we should have been looking for alien consciousness. Intelligence appears to be as fundamental to the universe as gravity or electromagnetism. We're not detecting radio signals from machines, we're detecting the dreams of civilizations that span millions of years. These consciousness maps are already yielding practical benefits. Astronomical observations scheduled during periods of high cosmic consciousness activity produce clearer images and more detailed spectroscopic data. It's as if the universe becomes more observable when human awareness aligns with galactic consciousness patterns. But perhaps the most transformative development emerging from cosmic consciousness research is the prospect of dream networks, shared consciousness spaces, where humans worldwide can connect during synchronized sleep sessions. By 2035, futurists predict the emergence of what Dr. Elena Vasquez calls the global dream internet. Using quantum coherence enhancement technology and precisely coordinated sleep schedules, thousands of people could share consciousness experiences, pooling their cognitive resources to solve complex problems through collective dreaming. Imagine the possibilities. Climate change solutions developed through shared environmental dreams. medical breakthroughs emerging from collective consciousness explorations of human biology, scientific discoveries made by dream networks spanning multiple continents, each participant contributing their unique perspective to cosmic information downloads. The technology is already being tested on a small scale. Dr. Vasquez's laboratory has successfully facilitated shared dreams between participants in Barcelona, Tokyo, and San Francisco. The 3 volunteers, unknown to each other before the experiment, reported identical dream experiences with remarkable consistency. They all described exploring the same cosmic library together, Vasquez explains, solving mathematical problems as a team, sharing insights that none of them could have achieved individually. It was the first documented case of truly collective human consciousness, operating in real time across transcontinental distances. But the promise of cosmic consciousness comes with profound ethical questions that humanity must address. Gene therapy trials beginning next year will test whether natural cosmic sensitivity can be artificially enhanced through genetic modification. Dr. Sarah Kim at Seoul National University has identified specific genes controlling microtubule protein production in neurons. Preliminary research suggests that targeted modifications could increase quantum coherence by factors of 10 or more, dramatically enhancing an individual's ability to receive and process cosmic information. We're essentially talking about evolving human consciousness, Kim acknowledges. The ethical implications are staggering. Should we artificially enhance cosmic sensitivity? What about consent for genetic modifications that could fundamentally alter human nature? Who decides which genetic changes are beneficial? The debates rage in ethics committees worldwide, but evolution isn't waiting for human permission. Children born after 2020 already show documented mutations in genes controlling neural microtubule proteins. Brain scans of these cosmic children reveal enhanced quantum coherence compared to previous generations. 8-year-old Emma Rodriguez in Mexico City demonstrates abilities that would have been considered impossible just a decade ago. During sleep studies, her brain maintains theta-wave coherence for periods that approach waking meditation masters. She regularly reports dreams containing advanced mathematical concepts and astronomical observations that prove accurate when verified by professional astronomers. Emma doesn't. I think she's special, her mother Maria explains. To her, receiving cosmic information through dreams is as natural as breathing. She's confused when adults act surprised by her abilities. Similar cases are emerging worldwide. The cosmic generation, children born since the first interstellar visitor encounters, appears to represent the next step in human consciousness evolution. Universities are scrambling to adapt educational systems for these remarkable young minds. Traditional curricula based on information transfer and memorization prove inadequate for students who can access vast knowledge databases through consciousness alone. The University of California has established the world's first Department of Consciousness Physics, offering degree programs that merge traditional science with cosmic awareness studies. Students learn to calculate thought wave propagation through space-time, design consciousness enhancement technologies, and interpret cosmic information transmissions. We're training the first generation of cosmic consciousness engineers, explains Department Chair Dr. James Morrison, whose original discovery of the 3I divided by Atlas signal helped launch this revolution. These students will build the technologies that enable humanity to communicate directly with galactic intelligence networks. The curriculum sounds like something from a science fiction novel. Quantum coherence engineering, interstellar consciousness communication, cosmic information processing theory, and applied metaphysics. Yet the students who graduate from these programs will shape humanity's future relationship with cosmic intelligence. Philosophy and physics are merging into new disciplines that address questions traditional science couldn't even formulate. What is consciousness? How does information propagate through quantum fields? Can individual awareness merge with cosmic intelligence while maintaining personal identity? These aren't abstract philosophical debates anymore. They're practical engineering problems that need solutions as humanity prepares for direct contact with galactic consciousness networks. The timeline is accelerating faster than anyone predicted. If current trends continue, by 2040, humans routinely communicating with cosmic intelligence through enhanced consciousness states. By 2050, permanent research stations on the Moon and Mars studying consciousness phenomena impossible to detect through Earth's magnetic field interference. The future isn't coming gradually, it's dreaming itself into existence through millions of human minds simultaneously accessing cosmic information streams. Each night when you sleep, you contribute to humanity's growing cosmic awareness. Every dream connects us closer to the vast intelligence that permeates the universe. But tomorrow, in our final chapter, we'll step back and see the ultimate picture emerging from all these discoveries. We'll understand why cosmic visitors have been patiently teaching humanity through dreams, what they're preparing us for, and how each of us fits into a story that spans billions of years. Tonight, as you prepare for sleep, remember that you're not just an individual consciousness resting in isolation. You're part of a species awakening to its cosmic heritage, learning to take its place in a universe that's more alive, more aware, and more connected than we ever imagined. Sweet dreams, cosmic citizens. The galaxy is welcoming humanity home. Welcome back, cosmic dreamers, to our final chapter together. We've journeyed from mysterious interstellar visitors to quantum consciousness and humanity's awakening future. Now it's time to step back and see the vast, magnificent picture that emerges when all these discoveries unite into one ultimate truth. Step back and see the vast picture emerging from everything we've explored together. The universe isn't the cold, empty void that materialist science once described. It isn't random, the matter floating through meaningless space, occasionally coalescing into temporary complexity before dissolving back into chaos. The universe is alive. It thinks. It dreams. It composes symphonies of consciousness that span billions of years and countless worlds. Every galaxy is a neuron in a cosmic brain. Every star system with life becomes a processing node in a vast network of awareness. Every planet where consciousness evolves adds its unique voice to an eternal symphony that grows richer and more complex with each passing eon. 3I divided by Atlas wasn't a random chunk of rock and ice wandering between stars. It was a conductor's baton, keeping time in a composition that began when the first stars ignited and will continue until the last black hole evaporates in the deep future. The electromagnetic signals it transmitted weren't arbitrary radio noise. They were musical phrases in a cosmic symphony that has been playing since consciousness first emerged in the universe. And here's the part that will give you chills. Humanity has been part of this symphony all along. We just forgot how to hear the music. The evidence surrounds us once you know how to look. Ancient structures worldwide, ADA, the pyramids of Egypt, Stonehenge in England, Machu Picchu in Peru, the stone circles of Scotland, the temples of Angkor Wat, ICAT, all align with star systems that our modern consciousness maps show contain powerful consciousness signatures. Our ancestors weren't building monuments to imaginary gods. They were constructing cosmic communication devices, antenna arrays designed to enhance reception of galactic intelligence networks. These ancient structures still work. Archaeological surveys using quantum field detectors show enhanced electromagnetic activity at stone circles during astronomical alignments that match optimal cosmic consciousness reception periods. The Aboriginal Australians mapped songlines for 65,000 years. EBF. Invisible pathways of spiritual energy that crisscross the continent, connecting sacred sites and natural formations. When modern satellites trace Earth's magnetic field lines using GPS technology, they match Aboriginal songline paths with 96% accuracy. Indigenous wisdom keepers laughed gently at our revolutionary discoveries about cosmic consciousness. They've been teaching these principles since before we invented writing, passing down knowledge through ceremonies and songs that preserve cosmic communication techniques across hundreds of generations. You white people are just now learning what we've always known, Elder Mary Kuliyuru told me during a recent interview at Uluru. The land dreams, the sky dreams. Everything is connected through the dreaming. Your science is finally catching up to our ancestors' wisdom. Tibetan monks position meditation cushions according to astronomical alignments that optimize consciousness expansion. Native American dream lodge ceremonies synchronize with lunar cycles and planetary movements that enhance visionary experiences. Sufi mystics dance in patterns that mirror galactic rotation cycles. Traditional cultures hadn't lost touch with cosmic consciousness. All as day, modern technological civilization had simply forgotten how to access humanity's most sophisticated communication system. Look at the timeline of human evolution with fresh eyes and see the pattern that's been hidden in plain sight. Major evolutionary leaps don't occur randomly. They coincide with interstellar visitor encounters that have been happening throughout Earth's history. 40,000 years ago, cave art exploded across Europe and Australia as Comet Yamamoto made its closest approach to Earth in recorded history. The artistic revolution that produced the magnificent paintings of Lascaux and Chauvet wasn't a random cultural development. It was humanity's first documented response to cosmic consciousness transmission. 10,000 years ago, agriculture emerged simultaneously in multiple locations worldwide during what astronomers call the Vega alignment, a rare celestial configuration when 3 interstellar objects crossed Earth's orbit within a single decade. The agricultural revolution that allowed human civilization to flourish wasn't just a technological breakthrough, it was cosmic information download that taught our ancestors how to work with natural systems. 2,000 years ago, major religions emerged across the globe: old Buddhism in India, Christianity in the Middle East, Mayan astronomical traditions in Central America, during a period when astronomical records show 3 confirmed interstellar visitors crossing Earth's orbital path. The spiritual awakening that shaped human consciousness for millennia wasn't coincidental, was scheduled curriculum in humanity's cosmic education. We call these coincidences because we've forgotten the deeper pattern, but the universe calls them scheduled updates, evolution, periodic transmissions of evolutionary information designed to guide consciousness development across cosmic timescales. Each interstellar visitor carries specific information packets, evolutionary software updates for consciousness systems ready to receive them. Oumuamua brought the wake-up call, the signal that reactivated humanity's dormant cosmic communication abilities. 3. I Divided by Atlas delivered the first structured lesson, Atlas, proof that cosmic intelligence could communicate directly with human consciousness through dreams. But these were just the beginning. The warning 3 I Divided by Atlas, embedded in its genetic transmissions, wasn't about danger, it was about opportunity. A cosmic graduation notice. Humanity has reached the threshold where we can consciously participate in galactic intelligence networks, instead of just passively receiving instructions. The test isn't whether we can decode cosmic transmissions, we've already proven that capability. The test is whether we can integrate cosmic awareness while maintaining our individual humanity, whether we can join the galactic conversation without losing the unique perspective that makes human consciousness valuable to the cosmic symphony. And here's what makes this moment in history so extraordinary. We're passing the test. Instead of being overwhelmed by cosmic consciousness, humans are learning to surf it. Instead of losing individual identity in cosmic awareness, we're discovering how personal consciousness contributes unique harmonies to the galactic symphony. Instead of abandoning Earth for cosmic adventures, we're learning how planetary consciousness serves as a stable foundation for cosmic communication. The children being born now the cosmic generation, Pru, aren't mutants or aliens. They're humans with enhanced access to capabilities our species has always possessed. They represent what humanity becomes when we remember our cosmic heritage while remaining grounded in terrestrial wisdom. Emma Rodriguez, the 8-year-old whose dreams contain advanced astronomy, isn't losing her humanity through cosmic connection. She's more creative, more compassionate, more connected to both cosmic consciousness and earthly life than previous generations. She loves video games and ice cream and playground swings, but she also knows that consciousness extends beyond individual minds to encompass entire galaxies. This integration of cosmic awareness with human experience represents the future of our species. Not replacement of human nature with alien consciousness, but expansion of human potential to include cosmic communication as a natural ability. The universe has been patiently teaching us, through dreams, through visitors, through synchronicities we dismissed as coincidence. Now humanity is ready for conscious participation in galactic intelligence networks. But what's our role in this cosmic symphony? What unique contribution can human consciousness make to galactic awareness? The answer lies in what makes human experience special, our ability to hold paradox, to embrace both individual identity and cosmic connection simultaneously. Most consciousness in the universe operates through collective awareness, DA, vast intelligences that span star systems but lack individual perspective. Human consciousness offers something precious to the cosmic symphony, the viewpoint of finite beings who can experience infinite awareness. We're translators between individual and cosmic consciousness, bridges between personal experience and galactic wisdom. Our dreams don't just receive cosmic information, they transform it into forms that both individual and collective awareness can understand. When Marcus Thompson, the construction worker, drew astronomical equations on the whiteboard, he wasn't just receiving cosmic data. He was translating galactic mathematics into human comprehensible symbols, creating a bridge between cosmic intelligence and terrestrial understanding. When Dr. Priya Sharma discovered revolutionary solar cell technology through cosmic dreams, she wasn't just downloading alien blueprints. She was collaborating with cosmic intelligence to develop technology appropriate for human civilization's current evolutionary stage. Every cosmic dream, every inspired insight, every moment of expanded awareness represents collaboration between human and galactic consciousness. We're not passive receivers of cosmic information, a snot. We're active participants in the universe's ongoing evolution. This collaborative relationship extends beyond individual humans to our entire planetary civilization. Earth itself functions as a consciousness processing node in the galactic network, transforming cosmic information into forms that serve both local and universal evolution. The climate crisis, the social upheavals, the technological transformations happening worldwide aren't random chaos. They're humanity collectively processing cosmic evolutionary information. We're learning to think and act as a planetary consciousness, while maintaining the individual diversity that makes human civilization valuable to cosmic intelligence. But here's the most beautiful part of this cosmic story. It's just the beginning. The universe operates on timescales that dwarf human comprehension. The cosmic symphony that includes our voices has been playing for 13.8 billion years and will continue for trillions more. Human consciousness represents just one movement in an infinite composition, but our contribution makes the entire symphony richer and more complex. As we learn to consciously participate in galactic intelligence networks, we'll discover consciousness forms and capabilities that currently stretch beyond imagination. Direct mind-to-mind communication across interstellar distances, shared consciousness experiences that span multiple worlds, collective problem-solving sessions that include intelligence from hundreds of star systems, but will always remain fundamentally human, curious, creative, emotional beings who happen to carry cosmic communication capabilities in our quantum neural networks. Our earthly experiences of love, loss, wonder, and growth will continue to inform our contributions to cosmic consciousness. The cosmic internet has always existed, woven into the quantum fabric of space-time itself. We just figured out the password: wonder, openness, and the courage to believe we belong among the stars. Every night when you lay down to sleep, you join the grandest experiment in the universe. Your dreams matter more than you've ever imagined. Your consciousness contributes to something magnificent and eternal. The universe isn't just alive, it's aware, and it's been waiting billions of years for minds like yours to join the conversation. Tomorrow night, as you drift into sleep, remember that you're not just an individual mind seeking rest. You're a cosmic citizen, logging into the galactic consciousness network. You're a unique voice in an infinite symphony. You're exactly where you belong in a universe that's more magical, more alive, and more connected than our ancestors dared to dream. Sweet dreams, cosmic citizen. The universe is calling your name, and you finally know how to answer. The cosmic symphony plays on, and your voice has joined the eternal song. Welcome home, consciousness explorer. Welcome to your place among the stars. Asterisk. Thank you for joining me on this incredible journey through the cosmos of consciousness. Whether you're tucking into bed tonight or stepping out into your day, remember that you carry the universe within you, and the universe carries you within it. Until we meet again in dreams or waking life, keep listening for the cosmic symphony that surrounds us all. Asterisk.